All right, my friends, week 2 or lesson 2, if you're sort of going at your own pace, which is totally fine. As always, there's a lot of information here. So pause, rewind, and ask questions. I love answering them anyway. I want you to sort of get through this transformation as efficiently as possible. And that is why I want to be available to you to make that happen. Let's jump right in to week 2, file 1. And if we look at figure 1, it's what we were already doing for last lesson, is our minor pentatonic, right? That sort of easy, now familiar position of the minor pentatonic. And what we love about it is not just that everything starts on the 5th fret. It's so nice having that backbone, so I don't really have to worry about moving away like we were doing with the major scale. But the lowest note value is the root note itself. So when we're taking that scale and we're going to move it throughout the neck and sort of unlock the entire fretboard using just the A minor pentatonic, what we need to realize is it's the same succession of notes. So we need to learn this thing musically, which we have been. Sort of looking at figure 1, we sort of have this bar chord built right into the scale, which definitely helps. We've got our 1, 5, 1, or root note, flat 3, 5, 1, that we can visually see. And we were doing a little bit of some call and response with the scale to get a little bit used to how it's used musically. Now, if I take that position and I start going about the neck, it's the same succession of notes. The notes don't change. It's just that this starts so lovingly with our root note, which is so great. But if I'm moving the position and I stay in another position, it's the same notes as this scale. I'm just starting somewhere different. If I were to play this one, I'm starting on the 5th rather than starting on the root note. We hear that, same note as that, and that's my 5th of this scale. 1, flat 3, 4, 5. So that's why going through the neck and learning the other positions of the pentatonic is not musically beneficial unless we musically know how to use the first position of this pentatonic. So just like we have this visual of the A minor and our tension and our resolution notes, and visually being able to see it, let's go to our other very comfortable form of an A minor bar chord. Now, it's a little bit high on the fretboard, but it's still a bar chord that we're very used to. And that's starting on the 12th fret of my A string, my 5th string, and just playing that minor bar chord. Right? That's another A minor right there. And you can see, if you sort of think about the 12th fret, everything starts over. So whatever note, like this is my E string, the 12th fret is an E note, it's an octave away. They're the same note, they're an octave apart. Just like when we're doing this pentatonic, that root note and that root note are both A's, they're just an octave apart. And that's another octave apart. So everything sort of starts over on this 12th fret, meaning this bar chord right here, starting on the 12th fret, this A minor bar chord, 12, 14, 14, 13, which you'll see on figure 2, sort of mapped out in blue on the lower part. So the higher part is just the same as figure 1, move to figure 2, and now the bottom part of figure 2 is this A minor. What you can see is that's just this A minor chord. And then I'm taking those zeros and just making them at the 12 and giving me that 12. So when we visually look at that, what we see is, again, musically, the same succession of notes. I'm just not starting on my root note now. And if I look at that visually, that bar chord visually within that scale, I can see where my root notes are. Now, let's just take a look at this, because we don't have the luxury of that backbone being all the same fret, but it's not that far off. So this position is not that much more difficult than our really comfortable first position of the pentatonic. I have my 12, 15, 12, 15, 12, 14, 12, 14. So that's kind of easy. This is where it changes, 13, 15, and then 12, 15. So now I have 12, 15, 12, 15, 12, 14, 12, 14, 13, 15, 12, 15. If we listen to that musically, we can sort of tell where those root notes are, or at least be able to tell that the root note is not where I'm starting. If I go up the scale and back down again, nope. That sure is the 12th fret of my A string, my 5th string, and that's exactly where the root note is marked on figure 2 with that lower part of the pentatonic. So if I can start saying, ooh, I can build some tension here, right? If I just do something really easy, I can see where my flat 3 is. I know that's a tension note. Okay, I like that. 12th fret of my bottom E string, 15th fret of my 2nd string, to my flat 3, my 13th fret of my B string, and then resolve it to my root note, my 14th fret of the G string, right where it's marked, right there. If we can start getting very comfortable with this scale musically and this scale musically, the same scale, just these positions and where they sit, and building a little bit of tension, building a little bit of release, moving throughout the whole neck is not going to be that difficult. So for right now, what I want you to try is going up and back in our first position, and then up and back in what is actually our 4th position of the pentatonic. And the reason being is this is our first position. If I start here, it's our 2nd position of the pentatonic. This is our 3rd position of the pentatonic, and this is our 4th. So we're going to call this the 4th position of the pentatonic. So you've got your first position, pentatonic, up and back, getting nice and used to it, sliding up to that 4th position of your pentatonic. So you're just playing the back part of figure 2 and then the higher part of figure 2. Give it a shot and see if you can really hear out where those root notes are. Try that, and I'll see you in the next video.